What a finish to an incredible game tonight at Busch Stadium. By the way, Busch Stadium, one of the beautiful ballparks in all of baseball. The Jays win this one 5-4 in extras. This thing had a little bit of everything. It had dominant performance from Jose Barrios. Some early clutch hits from the Blue Jays, but they couldn't add on. Kirky drives one to center, goes off the glove of Victor Scott, and out of the ballpark to give you a 3-0 lead. You blow said 3-0 lead, and you're trailing 4-3 going into the ninth. And Jonathan Clase tying the game, and then you win it in extras. Wild stuff. Let's start at the very beginning, because in the top of the first inning, against Palante, the Blue Jays had some very good at-bats, right? After Bo and Vladdy both get out, Barger singles to left. Then Kirky singles to right. Then George Springer doubles down the left field line. In comes Barger. And Kirky up to third. He had a 1-0 lead. Awesome. We go to the top of the second inning. After David Schneider grounds out to lead off the inning, Ernie doubles. Clase grounds out but moves up Ernie to third. And then Bo with 2 outs singles to center field, scoring Ernie Clement. The Jays have scored in back-to-back innings to start the ball game. A very, very nice start for this team. However, it goes away. They get no offense the rest of the way. Palante settles down. The Jays offense can't do squat. They have some opportunities. They can't cash in any. And in the top half of the 8th inning, Alejandro Kirk at the dish, and he drives one to deep center. This is a big ballpark, though. And Victor Scott, great defender, great speed in center, jumps to get the ball. It goes off the tip of his glove and out of the ballpark. Would it have gone out anyways? I'm not sure. Probably, it's hard to say. I have to look at more angles to really get an idea. But regardless, it goes off the glove and out of the ballpark. Kirky's 4th homer of the season. It's a 3-0 Blue Jays lead. We're feeling great going into the bottom half of the 8th. Vibes immaculate. Brendan Little, after getting the strikeout on 3 pitches to end the 7th inning, goes out there for the 8th and gets the ground out to lead off the inning. And we're thinking, all right, good stuff. Then Nolan Arenado flies out, and you got 2 out and nobody on. Great. Alec Burleson then doubles to right field, and Brendan Little replacing Jose Barrios at that point. I butchered that completely. That was all the 7th inning. Let's go to the 8th. I completely butchered that. But with Brendan Little on base, Victor Scott walks. And that's already not a good thing, right? That's speed on the bases, so now your mind's looking elsewhere. Well, he strikes out Lars Nootbaar. Okay, so now you got a guy out with only a guy at first. You're up 3-0. We're okay. Mason Wynn then singles to left field, so 2 guys on. So the tying run's now at the dish. Well, he gets Brendan Donovan to strike out. And we're like, okay, now there's 2 out. And they bring in Yariel Rodriguez, and Wilson Contreras singles to right field. Kind of, swing a late swing. But a soft line drive gets past Vlad. Victor Scott comes in to score. Mason went up to third. And it's a 3-1 ball game. The tying run is on base now. And Ivan Herrera comes up. And Yariel Rodriguez throws a cement mixing curveball slider thing. I think it was a slider. Doesn't do much. Hangs over the middle of the plate. Ivan Herrera crushes down the left field line. And it's gone. A 3-run shot. And just like that, the 3-0 Blue Jays lead. With a guy at first and, was it first and second? Guys at first and second and 2 out. And you're up 3-0. Has now turned into a 4-3 deficit in the bottom half of the 8th. A gut punch from the Toronto Blue Jays. Because one of the better closers in baseball, Ryan Helsley, is going to come out in the 9th inning. A guy with a 3.52 ERA. He's not having the best of seasons ERA standpoint. The whip's 1.52. But 13 saves on the year. He's their closer. He throws 101, 102. He throws straight gas. It's not going to be easy in the top half of the 9th inning. So it just feels like a full-on gut punch. Ernie Clement pops out, and there's 1 away. And the number 9 hitter, Jonathan Clase, comes up. And he gets, I believe it was 101 down the middle. He's clearly looking heater. And he drives it to right center field. Does it have the wings? It does! Somehow, someway, Jonathan Clase goes deep off of freaking Ryan Helsley, and we are tied at 4 in the 9th. Insane! Vladdy ends up doubling 2 batters later. They don't come across the score. We go to the bottom half of the 9th inning, and of course, Yariel Rodriguez settles in here, gets a ground out and 2 strikeouts. We go to extras. And with Addison Barger at second base, one of the hottest Blue Jays we have seen in a while, Alejandro Kirk gets a, kind of not a great pitch from Phil Maton, But he drives it to left field. It one hops to the wall, or maybe it hits the bottom of the wall. But regardless, it's very freaking close to the wall. In comes Addison Barger, and the Jays take the lead back 5-4. Kirky stays red hot, and you're up 5-4. They bring in Alan Roden to pinch run for Alejandro Kirk. George Springer then walks. You have 2 on now. And Andres Jimenez, a really nice bunt on the third baseline. Just kind of deadens the ball. Arenado's got to get the out at first. You have guys at second and third with only 1 out. They intentionally walk Nathan Lucas to face Ernie Clement, and then a horrific swing from Ernie Clement. Taps down the third baseline. Arenado touches third onto first, and the inning is over. And you get that 1 run. And I looked at that, I was pissed. Because I thought about it. I'm like, well, now you have, I believe, Victor Scott, their very fast runner at second base, the tying run to start the bottom half of the 10th. You get 1 more run. That run really means diddly squat. And Jeff Hoffman goes out there in the bottom half of the 10th inning and strikes out Lars Nootbaar to start the inning. Massive job there. Gets Mason Wynn to hit a ground ball up the middle, but nice play by, I think Hoffman tipped it to kind of deaden it a little bit. Andres Jimenez makes a nice play to get the out at first. And they've got a guy at third base with 2 out for Brendan Donovan. And it's a soft line drive to more right center field. And it's caught by Jonathan Clase. And the Blue Jays win this ball game 5-4 in St. Louis. That was crazy. But that's the beautiful thing about baseball. Unbelievable stuff. Let's break down the player stats, shall we? Bo Bichette, 1 for 5 with an RBI. Hadn't had that really weird strike 3 call against him where he thought he called time, but you look at the replay, he didn't really open his mouth at all. So I'm not really sure what was going on there. Vladdy goes 2 for 5, gets a double and a single. Again, fine. Again, not much damage going on here from Vlad, but okay. Addison Barger, 1 for 5, scored a couple runs, did strike out 3 times though, and that off-speed stuff is, they're kind of getting him with that recently. So let's see how he adjusts. And the man of the hour is Alejandro freaking Kirk, who hits a homer, 2 doubles, and a single to go 4 for 5 with a run scored, 2 RBIs, hits a homer, drives in the game-winning run, and is hitting .316 with a .361 on base. Had a .734 OPS going into play today. That has gone way up now. That's got to be over, .750, .760 at this point. He has done incredible stuff for this team, not only behind the dish, now with the bat. Beautiful stuff. George Springer went 1 for 3 with an RBI and a walk, got on base twice. So good stuff from him. Andres Jimenez got a hit. Ernie Clement 1 for 5 with a run scored. Jonathan Clase, the number 9 hitter, 2 for 4 with a run scored, an RBI, a homer, had the bunt single. Great stuff from him. Pitching wise, because it's going to go unnoticed because of how good Alejandro Kirk was. Jose Barrios, and it feels like ages ago, was so dominant. But it didn't look like he had his best stuff. At one point, he threw that really weird, 63-mile-an-hour pitch, which we have no clue what happened there. 6 2/3, 4 hits, only had the 1 strikeout. So again, didn't have his great stuff, but had the soft contact stuff. Only walked 2, didn't allow a run over 6 2/3. He was outstanding. Brendan Little went inning, allowed a hit and a walk and 2 earned runs, struck out 3. And Yariel Rodriguez went an inning and a third, allowed 2 hits, 2 runs, both of which were earned and had 2 punch-outs. But the real important one was Jeff Hoffman. Clean inning of work, no base runners, a strikeout, and save number 16 on the year for him. A big win for the Blue Jays to bounce back after that tough loss there yesterday to the Minnesota Twins. They needed this one. It could have been bad. You lose this game and blowing a 3-0 lead, now you've lost back-to-back games. It would have been painful to watch, but it doesn't happen because the Blue Jays found a way to come back. Game 2 of this 3-game set goes tomorrow night, 7:45 first pitch. Again, Chris Bassitt, Miles Michaelis is the pitching matchup tomorrow as the fellows look to win 2 in a row, win another series on the road, and for the first time this season, get to 7 games over the 500 mark. That would be awesome. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I really do appreciate it. So guys, that's going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and the game this evening, hit that like button. Do appreciate it. The subscribe button, you guys not done so already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, thoughts on the game. Would you like, would you not like from today's game for the Toronto Blue Jays? Twitter, Discord, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff is down below. So follow up there if you haven't done so already. And I will talk to you guys, Jays Edition, Game 2 of the 3-game set in St. Louis against the Cardinals. Chris Bassitt, Miles Michaelis is the matchup tomorrow night at 7:45 at Busch Stadium. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And of course, the dub today. Talk to you guys then.